yeah, man. And I see that. I see the love. So I really appreciate JHB.
And I want us to talk about psychologically as a young kid who had very big dreams. When as you're saying, the dropping out of Ambitiouz happened, I'm sure you probably struggled because maybe you didn't have any financial muscle at the time. How difficult was it, and how did you deal with it mentally as a young kid?
You know, when I think about it right now, I feel like I didn't give myself the chance to deal with it then when it was happening. Because I was still working, I was still trying to find a way to get shows, you know, put myself out there. So I feel like I didn't really give myself the time to sit and be like, and take it all in. But thinking about it, man, it took a toll on me because it changed me as a person, you know? I became a certain way because I felt like I need to act a certain way when I'm around certain people or at certain places because of how the game moves, you know, because of that narrative, you know, because of that idea. But I feel like I needed that, you know, I needed that. I needed to become my own man at an early stage in my career because I feel like, you know, what's coming for me is big and I need to be able to handle it.
So you already knew?
Yeah, so I just felt like, because I'm also grateful that my older brother was kind of in the same situation as I was in, because I got that moral support from him, you know what I mean? So when I dropped out the label, he dropped out the label. And
so you dropped out first?
Actually, they dropped out first.
Oh, okay.
Benchmarq dropped out first, and I was like, okay, cool. If the bros are dropping out, I'm out. You know what I mean? If I have to choose between Ambitiouz and my brothers, I'm choosing my brothers. So I was out. Lived in Melville, and they were there with me. So, you know, trying to help me get shows, all that shit, because they had been in Jersey before me, so they knew, you know, their way around. They knew how to navigate on certain things. So, yeah, man, it was like starting over. You know, gotta do a new album, gotta get a new single, gotta try and get someone to fuck with you so you can, you know, get your shit on radio, you know? Shit like that. You gotta find someone to book you. At the time, no one wants to book us because it's like, they feel like, you know, it's going to be some legal issues if they do. So they're like, nah, we cool, we straight. So it was a crazy time for me, man.
And you didn't have any issues, nah?
Nah, I mean, I did a little bit. You know what I mean? I did a little bit because you know what money does. So there were a few people who fell back.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But, man... Shout out Batukara. Is it Batukara?
Batukara, yeah.
Man, shout out that man.
From Lisedi FM.
Yeah.
That's my guy. Batukara.
Shout out that man because that man put us on. He was the only guy who was like, yo, I don't give a fuck. I'm going to book you niggas. Come to Bloom. You know what I mean? I'm going to give you some paper so you can be straight till you get your feet right, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Most of the time we were gigging out in Bloom, you know, doing the same fucking shit. But it was like, yo, we're back on the road again without Ambitiouz.
But I also want to big up Ambitiouz because I always say, even people that we started working with what now is Motherland. At the time, they were Ghetto Rough. Obviously, we had our issues. But as one grew mentally, as I became a bit older, I appreciated the fact that they were there when nobody believed in the beginning, you know, because even whatever happens between us and, you know, the separation happens, you move on, they sort of somehow played a role in igniting the boy, in kickstarting the career, you know? And when you think from a bigger picture, you also, I guess, as a human being, with the type of person that I am, I'm always like, you know, no grudges, I appreciate you. Yeah. And thank you and I'll always be grateful. And Lance knows, I've told him in his eye, no matter what happened between us, I'm always grateful of that opportunity that you gave me as a young kid. I don't know where I would be today. I wouldn't be a DJ Spook, but the fact that you were there, and I appreciate you, bro. And I want to say it on camera while you're still alive, Lance, while I'm still alive, you must always know that I appreciate you, because I don't know how my life could have turned out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Facts. I mean, you know, if I were to meet with the Ambitiouz owner, I would have to tell him in his face, you know what I mean, how I really feel. But
I respect that.
It's not all bad because like you're saying right now, man, like, where would I have been had that not happened in that particular part in my life? You know, if that nigga didn't say, yo, what do you want? You know what I mean? Because, you know what I mean? That was like the first thing that nigga said to me. Like,
serious?
I came in, you know what I mean? I was with IMP. It was my first time I went out there at the Mid-Range Studios. I got in there. His Range Rover was outside. We walk in, you know what I mean? We greet each other, you know what I mean? It's all brief and shit. He goes to the, you know, this big ass desk, like boardroom desk type shit in the living room shit. He walks in, he sits down, I sit across. He's like, all right, so what do you want?
You didn't expect
what do you want? Man, you know, so I had to keep it 100 with him. And I remember before I left, I mean, after we spoke and it was official that he was gonna sign me, he played me a beat in his Range Rover, and it was the Couldn't beat. And he was like, yo, can you do something to this? And I had never really jumped on those type of beats before. So I really took it to myself to be like, I'm gonna prove a point. So I was like, yeah, I can jump on this. I can give it to you like tomorrow or end of the week.
Yeah.
He's like, all right, write some shit to this and let me hear it. And before we left, man, he's like, yo, you need to remember one thing, man. Your talent is always gonna save you, bro. You're super talented. Your talent is always gonna save you. Yeah, so, you know, shit like that, man. I would have to see him in person to be like, I appreciate those moments.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because, you know, on the real, I'm really over that type shit. But it's like, you know, stay over there, I stay over here.
And then you went on to become bigger. You're becoming bigger every year, bro.
Yeah.
And your numbers are flipping increasing every year on all these DSPs and these platforms.
Yeah.